Hey y'all. So we are going to be taking a look at Litha and Talamis season, July and August ahead. So with Litha, right, we're coming out of summer solstice on June 21st, and we are sitting within the watery well of our own emotional cores during this time. This is very much about self-reflection, right? If you think about it, in the northern hemisphere, we are in a time of Litha, which is very watery and really sitting with our emotions. But then at our counterpoint in the wheel of the year, those in the southern hemisphere are at the time of Yule, aka Christmas time, which is also a time of reflection, just through a different lens. So and no matter where you are in the world, whether it's northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, Litha is very much about really sitting with how you feel from a place of reflection and non-resistance, being willing to sit with whatever arises from a place of stillness. It's really about the emotions, the emotional core, without necessarily taking any steps or trying to figure out how to fix anything or alter anything or how to shift one emotion from, one thing to another. It's really just about acceptance of the emotions as they currently are and really sitting with those. Sometimes doing so can lead to questions, right? Not necessarily questions that lead to answers either. Sometimes it's just sitting with our emotions and having questions, which then spawn other questions, which then spawn other questions. But it's a really beautiful opportunity to really live in those questions and consider the aspects within us that are emotionally charged from a place of curiosity and non-judgment. So that's July. Then we move into Lammas in August, which is a time of getting ready to reap that harvest, honey, for Mabon that comes in September, right? It's August. We're at the height of the summer season here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's very warm. We're kind of, winding down the end of summer. In a way, it becomes more intense heat-wise, but we're kind of, taking a look out to autumn going, okay, well, the harvest is coming, so let's just slow our roll a bit and just really be grateful for what we have, where we've been, our experiences up until this point, until we go into the autumnal equinox in the following month, which begins our wind down towards the end of the year, right? And remember, this is around the time where we're getting ready and gearing up for the days to begin to shorten in length in a really noticeable way. So it's interesting around that time of equinox and going into the autumn time that in August, it's sort of like one last abundant hurrah, where we're going, yes, like this is wonderful. This is where there's plenty of fruit, there's plenty of veg, there's plenty of food. Everything is in abundance. We even have an abundance of time. This is usually when we have time from work off. School is usually not in session. It's a time where we can really sit down and really appreciate taking things a little bit more slowly, and also, sharing that joy, sharing the sun, being at, its height in the sky and giving us warmth from a place of excitement and joy. Because it's an exciting point as well, because when we are just before the autumnal equinox, we are coming up to the harvest and the holiday season and going back to school and all of those things. It's an exciting time because that's also, a time of year where we have a lot of holidays, and there's an aspect of like, okay, it's like a fresh new start within a fresh new start, right? We're ending the summer, we're going back to work or back to school, and then we're going in through a time which leads to Samhain, and if you're in America, Thanksgiving, and Yule/Christmas, and New Year's resolutions, and the New Year, and all of these things. So it's kind of like let's just relax and really enjoy being where we are as much as we possibly can before the rest of the year unfolds and we're back into the groove of a lot going on. So July and August, this is really such a beautiful, very special time period where we are not just asked, but encouraged to really move a little bit more slowly and be exactly where we are from a place of pleasure, right? In the Southern Hemisphere, with that Yule energy, we're asked to move more slowly, but from a place of introspection, right? But this is really about pleasure, really enjoying being outside, feeling the heat, enjoying the downtime, and enjoying the time before things really rev up and it feels like a bit of a speeding train into the end of the year, and then we're into a whole new year. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm really going to enjoy this time because I know what's coming. There's a lot to be excited for, a lot of holidays coming up, but the food is plentiful right now. The harvest is going to be coming in, and I really can take this time to just enjoy, sit with my emotions as they are from a place of curiosity and non-judgment, and just soak in the sun and the energy and the stillness. It's kind of those, lazy, languid days of summer energy around July and August. So it's such a treat. It's such a beautiful time period to be within. And with that being said, I'm wishing you all such a beautiful Litha and Lammas. I really love doing this series, relatively new series, where we're looking at 2 months ahead within the context of the wheel of the year, because if we can be aware of what nature is doing, of the cycles of nature within a wheel of the year context, then that empowers us to really work with that given energy and get more out of it. As a result, just like they did, pre-industrial revolution, when we align ourselves to nature's cycles, we have a more fully embodied and enriched and empowered experience. And I'm really excited to keep sharing that with you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this Litha and Lammas. Hey Aries, let's go ahead and take a look at what your animal energy is for this coming Litha into Lammas July to August season. Briefly, I did a meditation for you, and in it was very short but sweet. I don't want to really spend too much time analyzing it because I feel like it'll reveal itself, and it was very unique imagery there. But I saw the image of a Christmas tree outside. It was, all decorated, and it was dressed and had the star on top, and it was snowing, and it was a very idyllic kind of winter wonderland landscape. And then I heard the song Walking in a Winter Wonderland. And then I saw this beautiful lion walk into the frame and then sit underneath the Christmas tree. And the song Winter Wonderland was playing. And then I saw like a mama duck and a bunch of baby ducklings waddle through the snow. And then they circled around the lion and created a little circle around him. And he seemed so at peace and so happy that these ducks were sort of surrounding him. And then he fell asleep within that circle. And that was the image. And it was a very beautiful, beautiful image of an animal that embodies so much ferocious power, being in a position of such, gentility. It reminded me kind of an offshoot of the strength key, which is about love over hate and love over fear. Traditionally, that's the image of a woman, with her hands on the mouth of a roaring lion. A lot of debate among tarot, specialists and enthusiasts as to whether she's closing that lion's mouth or opening it. But it felt like an offshoot of that. I also feel like there's something, I got deja vu. I feel like I've seen this image for you before, but without the lion and the ducks. I feel like maybe even a year ago. It felt like it was drawing me of this image to a year ago. Something about this time last year. You might even want to go check out, if you feel called, go check out the reading that I did for Leo last June, July, August, around that time period. It feels like they're drawing my attention to that in some way. But it was a really, really beautiful image. Lion energy is about strength and protection and power. Duck energy is so wonderful because it's really about allowing yourself to lighten up and play and to quite literally allow whatever is not necessary or in your best good to roll off your back. So really beautiful, quite mysterious, Aries. Let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is. What's going on? Okay, I have shivers because literally, okay, do you know the story of the lion and the lamb? That's so funny because there's a specific, which deck is it? There's a particular tarot deck where the strength key is a lion and a lamb. And there's that whole story of a lion and a lamb. So this is fascinating. And then the idea of the lamb is also directly associated with Christmas time within the Judeo-Christian context. This is really fascinating. Really, really fascinating. Okay. Beautiful earth energy here. I really wish I could remember like which deck is the lion and the lamb, or I would go and like pull that out for you right now, but maybe it'll come to me. Anyway, the lamb is very much about childhood. It's about compassion. It's about sweetness. It equates to a bit of a Page of Cups energy, which is really about enjoying the present moment and really coming from a place of right here, right now is all there is and all that I need. I have no anxiety of the future. I have no pain over the past. That's the true gift that children give us, right? Is that idea of, you know, embodying the present moment from a place of joy and contentment. I love that this is coming up for you during this season as well. It's really beautiful. There's something about this. The lion and the lamb. Really, that is a very classic image of strength, is the lion and the lamb. The fact that it was Christmas time and the whole like Lamb of God thing. This is really interesting. Okay, let's see what else is going on. What is going on? Oh, okay. Interesting. So we got the Oracle of Delphi here. Fascinating. So you've got the first major arcana within the Akashic Tarot deck. Now, this is very much what it looks like. This is very much about intuition and messages and really tuning in to the messages that are available to you, and then also applying them to courses of action. In other words, this is a hybrid energy of the High Priestess and the Magician, getting the information and taking action, right? From a divinely intuited place. What I'm getting about this, though, is that it feels a bit impartial. The Oracle of Delphi, what made her so powerful within historical context is that she was a channel, right? The thing about intuition or even intuitive readers like myself is that we're still humans. So all the information that we get has to pass through our human experience and thus our human limitations. But the Oracle of Delphi was basically dehumanized. And what I mean by that is, I know that sounds a bit harsh, but it's true. And what I mean is she was dehumanized in the way that she wasn't allowed to live like other people. She wasn't allowed to live like in town with the community. She wasn't allowed to like take a husband or have a family. She was really, the oracles were really kept separate and really treated like an instrument, a channel for magic and divine inspiration. And that was because they understood, and it doesn't make it right, okay? But historically speaking, you know, in these civilizations, they understood that the Oracle of Delphi, in order for her to be as clear a channel as possible, she had to be kept, in a way, removed from a lot of the human experience that would expose her to bias. Really interesting. Really, 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 really interesting. Let's see what else is going on. And wow, this is something else. Seven of Forces, balance. So this is really cool because this speaks of everything being, it's a bit of like the justice key really with the two scales here, Libra energy. So this says everything is exactly as it's meant to be in terms of, you know, the court of law, fairness, contracts and acquisitions and offers. And this really speaks of also having more than one area of your life in balance, right? So do you see how she's like holding out her hand one way this and the other way? And it looks like she's creating a scale. That's really interesting. And then we had the lion and the lamb. Interesting indeed. But this does harken to, you know, legal matters and also everything being a certain way, right? Everything is balanced. Everything is measured out in proportion and exactly as should be, right? No modifications needed. Really fascinating. This is great. Okay. Eight of Forces, the lightning bolt. This is really, really interesting. First of all, remember how I saw a Christmas tree that was all dressed and had the star on top and it was lit at nighttime? Is this not like a tree that's like literally being lit by lightning. This is really, really fascinating. You know, the lightning bolt is similar to the tower key, except it speaks of revelations and insights, which also harkens back to the oracle at Delphi. You know, I feel like you are in, during this time period, Aries, your eyes are going to be very open to your own responsibility in terms of your relationships and your own personal path forward. I feel like things are about to shift for you. I feel like you could be making a career change. You could be having a major shift within a relationship dynamic. You could have a shift in your living situation, a shift in your work dynamic, your work situation. There is a significant shift happening for you. And I feel like why it's coming up in this context, right? Just look at how this is storyboarding and framed here. We've got the oracle at Delphi, right? Which speaks of destiny and fate that's being channeled through a divine source, right? Into balance. And she's literally gesturing to this aspect of balance, which goes to the lightning bolt, Eight of Forces, of being in the right place at the right time, right? Because that Eight of Forces, that lightning, that is like divine placement right there. This, along with the lamb and that aspect of like being in the given moment that you're in without cause for the, you know, past or the future, this is going to be a very significant time period for you, Aries. That is for sure. And, you know, I'm hearing that the path of, you know, highest alignment around this is to just come from a place of compassion and sensitivity and love for yourself and others. So remember, that lion in the meditation was surrounded by these ducks, which are a symbol of allowing yourself to play like a child would, allowing yourself to be in the given moment and really experience the unadulterated joy of life. I keep saying it, I keep feeling it. You are in for a major life change, but it feels so exactly as it's meant to be. It feels perfect. It feels like exactly I'm seeing what's that movie Phenomenon with John Travolta? That movie's coming through for you. There's something like that where I think he's hit by lightning. Is he not? It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think he's hit by lightning and then suddenly he has all of this knowledge. It's a shift that kind of really changes your life moving forward. You could be even changing careers to something that made you a lot of money but didn't make you particularly happy. And you're shifting to something that does make you happy and then trusting that the money will follow. Or you could be making a shift in a relationship dynamic where you're going, you know what? Like, I want to spend more time with my family and less time on work. So I'm going to look for a position that allows me to do that. And it's all in the name of balance. You know what I'm saying? It feels like that. Let's go ahead and get some advice. This feels very significant, Aries, and I have to be completely honest with you and say, I felt this in your meditation. I felt this nudge to not try to overanalyze the meditation and not to try to figure it out. And I got to tell you something. I feel something very similar here. I feel like I'm looking at this, and this is very peculiar the way this is coming through, but I'm getting this very particular sense that there are aspects of this that are for you alone and really not my business to tell you. Isn't that funny? Because it's kind of what my job is, to to interpret the energies at play for you so that you can get the most out of them. But there's something about this that feels like Spirit is going, this is going to be a pivotal time where some needed and desired changes are going to be made. And you are being asked, in terms of the lion and the lamb, to have strength and choose love over fear. It's really interesting. Let's get some advice, though. With that being said, let's get more information. My God, look at this. My goodness. 10 of Swords is your advice. Complete endings. Walking away from certain cycles so that you can begin a new one. Let die whatever wants to die. This is so perfect with what we're saying. Let die whatever wants to die. Let end whatever wants to end. Get that information, get clear on what that is of the Oracle of Delphi, and then seek to bring that into greater balance within your own personal experience and existence. A good diagnostic of that is with the Lamb. How much am I enjoying my life? How much am I enjoying my life? And then make adjustments accordingly. To the lightning bolt, you have a realization and a shift and a change that wants to be made, after which your life is going to be invariably different, but for the better, right? Ten of Swords, close out the cycles that want to be closed and let die whatever needs to die in the name of balance and really enjoying your life. Right? Whew, this is definitely going to be an interesting season for you, Aries, and I'm here for it. Let's go ahead and get an oracle for you. Feeling like a vintage oracle. Right. Who else got this? Your fellow air sign Sagittarius got this oracle. Freedom. I mean, first of all, doves are a symbol of divine love. So that's another aspect of love, and love over fear, love over hate. You know, this is the kind of freedom that speaks to when you truly not just embrace change, but allow yourself to truly enjoy your experience and completely let go of any obligation in your life. This could be a death to the obligations in your life and go, I'm not going to do anything out of obligation anymore because I have got the memo that life is very short and it's really meant to be enjoyed. And that is the freedom that I'm feeling here. And I know this is going to sound cliche and trite, but I feel like it's this way for a reason. Like, love is freedom. That's what it is. But we can also talk about self-love within the context of Litha and Talamis. The self-love is freedom, because when you truly embody and insist upon self-love, the rest of your situation becomes a lot more clear. It really does. If you truly love yourself, well, then how would you view your work situation through that lens? Does your work situation support that self-love? How about your personal relationships? How about your health? How is your self-love measuring up within those contexts across the board of your experience? That's freedom. It's really, really beautiful, Aries. Whew. That being said, I'm sending you so much love and many blessings. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. Would you? I absolutely love reading your comments. Please like, please share, please subscribe. I would so appreciate that. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so much, Aries, for being here. I appreciate every single one of you watching this. And with that being said, most of all, and as always, just thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.